So in Acts chapter 21, Paul and his crew, they go to Jerusalem because they're bringing money to James and at his church in Jerusalem. But on the first day, they go in to give the money, and of course, they receive money gladly because that's what churches always do. But Paul wasn't with them on the first day. So Paul goes in on the second day. So they knew Paul was in town on this day. So if they were going to make any plans against Paul, they would have made it on this day. So when Paul came in to see James, they already had the plan made and the trap was set. But the problem is, Paul thinks James is a good guy, just like everyone else thinks James is a good guy. Well, understand something about James, right? So the story of Paul goes in Galatians where he says, after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter, and I abode with him 15 days. But of the other apostles, I saw none. Oh, save James, the Lord's brother. So Paul thinks James is an apostle. We know from the Gospels that James is not an apostle. That James, the brother of John, was killed in Acts chapter 12. This is James, the half-brother of Jesus, the Lord's brother. So who told Paul that James is an apostle? There's your first clue, right? When we get to Corinthians, right, in 1 Corinthians 15, Paul says that after Jesus rose from the dead, he was first seen by Peter, who was of the 12 apostles, and then he was seen by 500 brethren at once. And after that, he was seen of James. And then last of all, he was seen by me, Paul. Okay, is that true that James saw Jesus Christ? Who told Paul that they saw Jesus Christ and that they were an apostle? So Paul is under the impression that James saw Jesus and that he was made an apostle. You starting to follow this trail of breadcrumbs here? So when you get to the book of Revelations, chapter 2, and it says, I know thy works and how thy labor, and that you have tried them that say they are apostles and they are not, because you has found them liars. Who do you think the Bible is talking about? Do you know how many people think James is saved? Study to show yourself approved unto God, a workman needed not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth.